Hello, welcome to a new video. It's a little while since I made a video, but here I'm going to be bold enough to attempt an evaluation of the King James Version of the Bible. Revered by many right up to the present day, the King James Version rightly holds a high place of esteem in the list of English Bibles. The beauty of its language makes it a monument of English literature, and its message has brought comfort and salvation to millions. However, in assessing the accuracy of the King James Version and its usefulness today, there are a number of factors to be considered, and in this brief, less than 5-minute video, I'll just look at some of them. There are cases where the King James Version is definitely less accurate than good modern versions. This is because we now know more about the meaning of ancient Greek and Hebrew words. The King James scholars usually took the Greek and Hebrew words in the senses they had in classical times, hundreds of years before New Testament times. But discovery of contemporary documents, such as letters written on papyrus, has shown that many of the words had different senses at the time the New Testament was written. Here's an example. In 2 Thessalonians 3:6, the word ataktos was translated disorderly in the King James Version. The old meaning of the word papyri from the period of the New Testament showed that it came to mean idly. And there's a little bit more there. I won't read everything because this video has to be less than 5 minutes. Also, we need to be alert to words that have completely changed their meaning in modern English. For example, let and prevent. And you can read about that and look it up for yourselves. And do you remember the old gospel song, "In the sweet by and by"? But in the King James Version, surprisingly, it means immediately. Quite different. We now have older and better manuscripts of all the Bible books, and there's a key example there on that. And the consistency. King James Version renderings are less consistent than modern versions. Look, for example, at the spelling of these names, and for the fact that they used beast for two very different creatures in Revelation. And there's another one from Matthew 27, which I'll leave for you to read. We'll go down to italicized words, which is a big change in modern versions. And they partly shifted the whole context of the Bible from ancient Palestine to 17th century English. That's very interesting. And again, I'll leave that for anyone who's interested to read. To properly understand the King James Version, not only do we have to understand Elizabethan English, and I've seen too many examples of long-time King James Version users who it turned out did not understand it properly. And this is a little bit about the cultural differences that we find. And here is interesting, everyday things we read about in the Bible that were common in Western culture that no longer happen. So people in those times actually had quite a big advantage over modern people. But in conclusion, we must conclude that using the King James Version today is a little bit like driving around in a Model T Ford. You might do it for curiosity value or nostalgic attachment, but not for serious motoring. If what you want is the best motoring, choose a good modern car. And to get the most out of your Bible, choose a good, clear, modern version.